Thank you so much for joining us today. For our audience, I'm thrilled to introduce Mr. Orwell, author of 1984. To start, can you tell us a little bit about what inspired you to write this book?
Thank you for having me today. Although I do feel a sense of irony in broadcasting an interview, given the subject matter of my book, if I were to sum it up in one word, totalitarianism. During my time working for the BBC in the Second World War, I saw terrible things done by the Nazi regime in Stalinist Russia. This vulgar display of power is what inspired me to write 1984.
How do you feel about this intersection of technology and mass communication?
I think that it's somewhat of a double-edged sword. On one hand, the accessibility and availability of communication and information from all around the world is such a beautiful thing. However, the fact that all of this information and communication can be used against the general populace, I don't like that at all.
Speaking of control, your novel explores the dangers of authoritarian power. In today's world, we often hear about large corporate greed and the influence of tech companies. Do you see that relating to the warnings in 1984?
I think that government and corporate powers are two heads of the same beast. Corporations are able to change our opinions, collect massive amounts of data, and influence our lawmakers through lobbying. In 1984, the party controlled information using language and surveillance. In the modern day, we see similarities where the corporations and government distract us from the truth with false news and jurisdict what information we can see.
On the topic of information shown, censorship also plays a big role. We're witnessing an increase in content moderation. What are your thoughts on this trend?
Censorship is a hard thing to talk about. On one hand, some censorship is necessary, mainly in the case of information where it can cause harm to people who know it. I think the biggest factor in that, though, is who decides what is and isn't harmful. 1984 warned against rewriting or erasing parts of history. When we don't know what mistakes we've made in the past, we're likely to repeat them again and again and again.
Nicely said. Thank you, Mr. Orwell, for your time and insights. Before we wrap up, we have a bit of fun planned, a quick game we're calling Is It Fact or Is It Fiction? Mr. Orwell, I'll describe a series of dystopian events and you'll have to guess, did this actually happen in real life or is it just fiction?
That sounds fun and slightly concerning. Let's see if I can tell fact or fiction.
All right, here's your first scenario. A government installs a television in every home that can watch and listen to citizens, monitoring their conversations and activities. Is this fact or is this fiction?
I believe that's fiction. It's very similar to the concept of the telescreens from 1984, although it does not sound too far-fetched from reality.
That's correct. Pure fiction. The next scenario. A country uses a social credit system where citizens are scored based on their behavior, and those with low scores can be denied travel, jobs, or even housing. Is this fact or is this fiction?
I believe that's fact. The country of China, or People's Republic of China, employs a social credit system very similar to that.
All right, here's another one. A regime bans certain words from being used in public and even in private, claiming it's for national security. Is this fact or is this fiction?
I believe that is fact. In lots of regimes, such as the Nazi regime or the Stalinist regime, where they had secret police, talking about certain words can get you in a lot of trouble.
All right, thank you for playing, Mr. Orwell. It seems that sometimes the line between fact and fiction is uncomfortably thin.
Indeed, that's why it's so important to stay informed from the right sources.
And on that note, we'll close our interview. Thank you again, Mr. Orwell, for sharing your insights and for playing today.
Thank you. It's been enlightening and an honor, and also just a little bit unsettling.
Thank you so much for joining us today. I forgot your.
That sounds fun and slightly concerning. Let's see if I can tell fact or fiction.
All right, here's your first scenario. A government installs in every home.
Huh?
You have to repeat this again. Orwell meets squirrel.
About to tame this thing.
All right.
I got this.
Big Brother is watching you. War is peace. Freedom is slavery.